Am I bothering you, Boris? I hope not, because this time I'm extremely excited about the history topic we are discussing in class.
It can never be annoying when we talk about history. I'm listening to your questions.
Let's start with the enemies of Germany and their relations with them after the 1st of March 1941.
Oh, the enemies of Germany. They also became our enemies, although we did not fight them directly. In December 1941, the government declared a symbolic war on the United Kingdom and the United States. As you know well, there is no such thing as a symbolic war. Due to this act, Sofia and other Bulgarian cities were bombed in 1943 and 1944, causing serious destructions. It is important to remember that we did not declare war on the USSR, and we maintained diplomatic relations with them.
A really interesting decision of the government. But did we still demonstrate character? Did we listen to Hitler for everything?
Of course not. Remember that we are not an occupied country, and we had our sovereignty. A good example was the rescue of the Bulgarian Jews. Dmitry Peshev, supported by many government deputies and clergy, prevented the deportation of tens of thousands of Jews from the old Bulgarian lands and saved them from being sent to concentration camps.
I remember that well from the lesson. This was quite a bold deed. Boris, which territories did we retrieve?
Before we took part in the war, South Dobruja was already in the Tsardom, which happened with the intervention of the German and the Soviet diplomacy. Through the Craiova Agreement of the 7th of September 1940, Romania returned this territory to Bulgaria. After Hitler's victory over Yugoslavia and Greece, we retrieved the right to administer parts of Macedonia. The fate of these lands had to be decided once and for all after the end of the war. Indeed, Bulgaria seemed united in the wartime.
Well, we can only guess what would happen, but history is as it is. Boris, we had no time left to talk about the death of Tsar Boris. Is it known in the end what he died of?
Even the doctors who treated the Tsar thought that he was poisoned, although the official cause was thrombosis of the left aorta, edema of the lungs and the brain. It was strange that an apparently healthy and vital person fell into such health crisis in just a few days. Even if he had been poisoned, we would hardly understand who had committed it. There was accusations against everyone involved in the complicated diplomacy in 1943.
Bulgaria did not have a monarch, and therefore the son of Tsar Boris took the throne, right?
No, Irina, Simon II was too young. A regency was appointed to rule until a successor came to the throne. The regency consisted of Prince Kirill, General Nikola Mikhov, and Bogdan Filov.
Oh yes, we have discussed many times what the regent and regents were. Well, what did the opponents to Bulgaria's choice about the war do?
Some of them protested from the tribune of the parliament. Another part formed an organization in 1942 called the Fatherland Front, and in 1943 it grew into a national committee of the Fatherland Front. It included communists, agrarians, members of Zveno, and social democrats. There was also a weak guerrilla movement, but it was incomparable to the one in Yugoslavia, for example. Remember the Fatherland Front because it would have a crucial role for the turn of the war for Bulgaria.
Then tell me about it. It was related to the 9th of September 1944, right? What happened then?
The points of view are different. For the historians before 1989, this was a people's revolution. In fact, this was a coup d'état organized by the Fatherland Front against the government of Konstantin Moraviev. Its success was guaranteed by the Red Army, which had already entered Bulgaria. Remember that the communists were also involved in this organization. Kimon Georgiev became prime minister of the first government of the Fatherland Front. We assume that after the 9th of September 1944, Stalinism was imposed in Bulgaria, firstly moderately, then on a large scale, as the real and the possible opposition had to be eliminated.
So Bulgaria would no longer fight on the front?
Irina, Bulgaria had not fought on the front until 1944. I guess you remember that the governing body managed to defend the status of our country as a non-fighting ally. After the coup d'etat, our army joined the 3rd Ukrainian Front and already fought on the side of the USSR. The army's battle route reached as far as Austria and Hungary, and one of the biggest battles in which our army participated was the one at the Drava River.
Very interesting and dynamic events. I can't wait for the next lessons to find out what happened in the country under the next governments of the Fatherland Front. The teacher mentioned that they were quite dramatic and contradictory.
That's right, you'll certainly be interested.